Thank you, everybody, and welcome to the Cellar Room. We have our hosts, and we have events, and we have our theme today of water. So, let's start off with who we are.
Water. I'm Bryson Ramsey. I'm an insurance agent.
Susan Ramirez, title company.
Daniel Johnson, real estate.
Willie Davis, loan officer.
Cha-ching. All right. So, what events do we got? Last week we went south to north. Let's go north to south.
That's good because North is not interesting this week, unfortunately. We got one event though. We have a concert in the dark. That's with Oliver Rajamani and Lauren Checchio. I believe I got that right. That's on the 20th, April 20th. Yes.
Okay.
And that's really all that's going on. We have more to talk about with water of just cool things to do, but that's the only like scheduled one.
Okay, 420, huh? Goodness. Okay, let's see. Couldn't imagine. Let's see, Thursday, April 18th, the fiesta that's going on across San Antonio will begin. This is going to be awesome, so check out different spots. There'll be a lot that's happening from that time until the end of the month. Also, on Monday, the 22nd, at around 7, there will be the Texas Cavaliers River Parade at San Antonio Riverwalk. This is going to be a really good event, so make sure you check it out, go out there and have a good time.
Awesome. And speaking of the Riverwalk, that could be our first water activity. Because have y'all been to the Riverwalk?
Yes.
San Antonio?
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because it's like the major thing that people want to see because it's got the Alamo, it's got the mall that's right there, it's got Legoland, it's got the mall theme park.
What's the name of that restaurant where they treat you like, a bunch
Dick's.
of buttholes? Boom. I didn't want to say it. You said it. Made you say it. So, yeah, I remember going there and it was funny. We took my in-laws there and they didn't know. So I'm like, what the heck is going on? I'm like, so rude.
I've never been there, but I got insulted walking past it.
Oh,
Which was hilarious.
And then it was so bad about it, it was so funny because they were in the zone, right, talking, being dicks. And then so they were like, yeah, there's a fire in the kitchen. And we were like, this is funny, no, seriously, there's a fire in the kitchen, so we gotta shut down.
Oh,
No, it's a joke.
No, it's no joke, we're serious, y'all gotta go because, it's closed. I'm like,
no,
dang.
Willie, I think they were just kicking you out.
No, they didn't. Everybody, evacuated. I would have felt like that, but everybody evacuated. It was like, okay, I guess.
You're like, hurry!
We don't want to lose money, but, it's what I
Make sure you pay your check before you leave.
Yeah, exactly. Right. We didn't get our food, dude. It was bad.
You just get treated like trash.
You get kicked out tragedy. You get kicked out because the person that's why your building burnt down, dicks.
That's wild. And I think San Antonio Riverwalk, they have the boats that go up and down it too.
Yeah, you can't go swimming in the river.
Yeah, first of all, that's a lot of engine fluid going through the Riverwalk for anybody to dive in. That's
Why is the
gross.
water green?
Did you see the rainbow that's in the water? That's
You
really
ever want to know
fun.
what it was like to
And
be a
it's
Teenage
not-
Mutant Ninja Turtle? Go ahead and jump in.
It's not that deep. The
No,
Riverwalk, it's not deep at all.
No, it's never meant to be.
How
But
do
it-
you know?
Well, one time.
All right, so we got the Riverwalk. There's actually a lot of cool stuff regarding water in San Antonio and up in Austin. The few things that I have written down, and we could discuss each of these, is SeaWorld. We have the tube rides. We have Schlitterbahn up in New Braunfels.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's actually, we got Canyon Lake up north. And then there's even small spots that you can do water activities in. And figure everybody has a couple that they've been to. What's your favorite experience with them?
I would have to say, so I haven't been to Schlitterbahn, right? But I
Okay.
have been to places like it. But because
Splash
I'm from Houston. I'm from Houston, so Splash Town was a big thing, right? And they closed it down. It was so disheartening as a kid to see that. But Schlitterbahn is very similar to Splash Town, and I could just only imagine the fun that was there, man. I have so many good memories of being at going down the rides and going down the big huge rides that they have, going tubing, chilling in the lazy rivers.
100.
Just a great time, man. So wave pool, a lot of fun. So
Absolutely.
I'm more of I like the lake.
Okay. Okay.
I just like to be on a boat, in the water, relaxing, maybe a drink. That's more my speed.
Okay.
Mhm.
So is it a speedboat or is it more?
No, just like, what is the boat that everybody just kinda-
Pontoon.
Yeah.
pontoon
Boom,
boat?
Yeah.
pontoon. Yep, pontoon.
Okay.
Yep. I was close, right?
Well, I was thinking of that home one that they have.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Like, not really a yacht, but like, it has a below deck. But I know what you're talking
Yeah. Okay.
about. Can't think of it off the top of my head. Either.
Not okay.
One of those big boats that we can't afford. Right now. You know, one of those people live
Take
on
a-
and stuff. It's
Take a
like,
second mortgage to buy your boat.
yeah, one of those.
Love that.
Yeah.
There's some stuff in Austin. I know some of my favorites are the river that runs through Austin. You can like go, you can tube down that. There's paddleboard rentals, kayak rentals, like all that stuff. So you can get out on there. That's a good time. Ladybird Lake specifically. That one is where you could like take the boats out, do wakeboarding, like all that stuff. And there is this park called Gracie Wood Park. That's like not well known. It's like my spot.
Well, it is
Which
now.
I guess it is, yeah. I shouldn't be talking about it. But that one is, it's nothing crazy. It's more like a nature walk, but it's by this like halfway between creek and river type thing. And that occasionally will dry up to where in certain areas where you could like walk the riverbed, and it's almost like new trails that you could like go on over there. And then you can just like wade through the creek if you feel like it too, like it crosses around it, stuff like that. So that one's fun.
But yeah.
Well, personally, I love SeaWorld because I love for my kids to interact with the animals, how, just by watching them or by, granted, we're not going to tap on the glass or anything, but playing with the dolphins, things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
Not gonna say.
And
Why do I
then,
feel like you're definitely tapping on the glass?
I will not confirm or deny tapping on the glass. But he did follow my finger. And then, I do enjoy just going to splash pads with my kids. There's a couple of parks that I really like. The Bulverde one up north has a really cool splash pad. All these families go out there. It's got a baseball field and a basketball field right there, and so you can play catch while half your kids are jumping in the splash pad. I
Have
love
your
it.
kid. How many kids you got?
I entertain a lot of them.
I'm trying, man. But I like the splash pads too, right? So
Yeah.
that wasn't around when we grew up, but I wish
Oh,
it
yeah.
was, man. Like, because it's just so nice to be able to go to like a public splash pad and like, your kids can run around and cool off, especially with how hot it is here.
Well, you can put a sprinkler at home.
We did,
And I think that's what we grew up with a
but
little bit.
we had
But it's not the same thing.
the
That's like,
slippery slide, right?
Yeah,
you
that's
had
true.
that, and then you didn't have but we didn't have the cool what do you call them, the little baby pools that now have the little connecting things and sprays down. They got all this fancy stuff,
There's
right?
more colors.
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
more-
And then you got a whole concrete pad that's full of water that it just sprays all kinds of cool stuff, and it's awesome. If that was around when we were kids, man, you can't tell me that you wouldn't go.
oh, dude, 100.
I will say though, why do you think they make those with concrete floors? Because most of the time I've seen them and they're all straight concrete, and I've seen at least 3 kids just absolutely eat it when
Oh,
running across
dude.
the water.
Do you laugh?
I don't know.
Not in front of them, right?
No, but I don't even know why they make it out of I feel like, the squishy material that they put at
Yeah.
playgrounds? It's
Yeah.
Because that's gonna get ruined with pee over time.
Yeah, it'll probably absorb it so quick. And
You know
crack
what
that
I've
time.
seen though? I've seen, so where we have our house, there's a, what do they call it, an amenity center. And the amenity center actually has a larger than average splash pad. So it's up to your ankles. And for the kids, it's up to their knees.
Oh, wow.
And so when it's a splash pad like that, even though it's concrete on the ground, there's the impact of the water before they hit the ground.
At that
it's
point,
nice.
you're
That makes sense.
it's it's a low section of a pool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
You're good at
And so kids can all have fun, and then they have that floating, what's the Connect Four, which is super fun.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
See, if we were kids and you had that,
Right?
you would be there, right?
Yeah,
Look
okay.
at that.
I'm playing with the water hose.
We're gonna find Susan at the splash park. She's gonna be like,
I've never
see, I told you.
There's one in Universal City, and it's
Yeah.
pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's
I've-
pretty new.
I've gone there a couple times with my kids, and it's a very nice splash pad. Like one of my favorites. It's hidden too. It's like
Yeah.
it's hidden. Like you gotta. I drove past it when I went past the McDonald's, and I was like, I happened to look, and it was like, oh man, there's like a splash pad over there. And then when you drive, it's like splash pad park, like, and it's nice. It's
Yeah.
well maintained. It's a very nice.
So back in the day, that the whole park was where the library is.
Oh, wow.
Because I grew up in that area. That's where I was born and raised, and there was a park there. They completely moved the park over,
Yeah.
put the library there. There used to be a Little Caesar's Pizza. I mean, it has changed so much.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
so
man,
nice.
it's crazy.
Yeah.
And they got the base right there on the street.
Man,
it's crazy.
It was right around it. I was gonna say too, are there any Great Wolf Lodges in
Oh.
Texas area?
Yes.
Like, I don't know if there's any like
That is
coming
my
out of
thing,
Austin,
man.
but I love that.
We actually
It's-
mentioned it in what, our second episode?
Yeah,
I think we did places
yeah,
to go.
yeah.
It's in
Dallas.
It's in Dallas.
It's in Dallas,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
because that's like, that's one of my things, man. They have like, sometimes they'll have like little promotions for like vets and stuff like that. So it's like not $1 million, it's like $999 million. Yeah, it can be, right? But like, it's so worth it, man. Like, I mean, you're talking about a hotel with this like, basically
Water park.
a water park inside of it, and then it's not just like a water park inside of it. They have like a water park, a restaurant, things for the kids to do. There's like
Arcade
an
room.
arcade room. Yeah, it's all kinds of stuff going on in there. So it's like you don't ever have to leave if you don't want to.
And I can say too, I went to it a couple times when I was like young, but the most recent time hadn't been for a while. But we did I had a soccer tournament back in high school where we stayed at the Great Wolf Lodge. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you.
because
why.
it's awesome. That's a lot.
But-
You guys you got a student discount and the coaches want to take their families.
But this was
Right.
junior, senior year of high school, still enjoyable.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So like
yeah.
this is, I wish that I could go to it. I don't know if I have time, but
You know, the other cool part about that is that I think that all of them are themed out differently. So
Yeah.
like they had like this Magi Quest thing going on at the one I went to.
I remember that.
Oh, you did have
I
one
think I
too?
remember one of those. That was back in Illinois when I went
Okay,
to it. I think
yeah.
they had one.
Okay, so yeah, they had one in South Carolina. Was it South Carolina? I think it was North Carolina. Concord is where the one I went to, and like it was just they had that going on. It was an amazing time. My son and I ran around for hours doing this Magi Quest, and we still didn't finish it. We were there for 3 days, man. So
Holy
it was
cow.
crazy, man. Like it was so much to do there, and it was just a great time with the family, And then their theme is like it's throughout the whole room. They built their rooms to theme out what it's about. That's Great Wolf Lodge.
So asking for a friend.
Yes.
Is it weird to go by yourself as an adult?
It might be, but I wouldn't judge you. I tell you. You know what I'm saying?
I was just like, oh, have you seen my kid? And just,
Yeah, just do that. Exactly. Susan, you got this. You know what I'm saying?
I was
She's
with
just
my
a
friend.
friend. She
I was
Tell
with my
your
friend.
friend. Tell your friend to go by themselves and go enjoy it. It'll be a great time.
Oh god.
Oh man.
So, okay, this is one thing I've been wanting to ask. I've never been tubing, right? So,
What is wrong with you?
Wait, do you mean tubing like
On
being
the
pulled
river?
behind a boat,
Yes.
or like just tubing down a river, like
Boom.
floating?
tubing down a river.
Okay.
So you've been pulled by a boat.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
just
that's
not. You haven't
fun.
just floated.
Correct. And so my main concern with tubing is like, okay, I'm gonna leave my car up here in Canyon Lake, for example.
Mm.
I'm gonna tube all the way down. How do I get back
I
up?
didn't know
Here's
that
the trick.
you could
You
tube
bring-
in Canyon Lake.
Well, I say Canyon Lake. There's a portion in that Canyon Lake Starksville area where you can start a tube and then you can go all the way down.
Mm-hmm.
But how do you get back
This
up?
is how you do it, and I know this because I went tubing all the time back in Chicago with my friend. There was this, I think it was the Fox River, that we went like a 3-mile stretch down it, and we just drive separate. You park both there, you meet at the ending location, and then just put everything in one car, and then one person will take you up to the start. Or have everything in one car, and then just both meet there, other person hops in that. You go to the start, and then you get back to the bottom, there's the other car waiting there for you, and then you just take it back to the original place.
So that's one option, right? But then also these places aren't new to it, man. They've been doing this for a minute, right? So when I went on the Guadalupe River right up here,
Yeah.
we went from Canyon Lake, right?
Don't tell me that valet. Like,
Boom. So like there's like a bus, right? And like when you're going down the river, there are certain parts where you can get off, and you'll see the buses as they come down. You pay for a tube, right? You get on the tube, you ride it down with your group or yourself, however you want to do it. And then throughout, there will be certain points where you could stop and get off, and then like the bus will take you back to the original starting point.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You got options.
Yeah, you got options, man.
So you gotta find out where the starting points are and where the ending points are, and just take that bus.
Well,
You can
basically
kinda wing
just
it.
at the start part. Just start at the wherever you get your witch clock from, and then from there when you go down, there'll be points where you can get on a bus to get back out.
Oh, cool.
So yep, that's how they do it over there at least.
That'll probably just depend on where you go, what river. If they have that, then
Right.
that's easy. If they don't have it, it's just, you just gotta have more than one person. more
Yeah,
than
you
one.
have to take a
Exactly,
break. You
right.
cannot
Or just walk back
Right.
up. It also works.
And it's so much more fun when you're with multiple people because, like, you know, and I think this is going to lead to what we were discussing earlier, which is I went and I was thinking it was going to be a quick, like, 3-hour ride this past summer. And, man, we were on that river for about 8 hours.
Holy cow.
But it was because, you know, the water level was low. So,
Oh.
you know, we were kind of cruising and it was taking us a little bit to kind of get down. And my buddy was like, you know, he's like, it wasn't like this last year. The water was getting a little bit lower as we go down these rivers. So, you know, there's a couple of spots where we're sitting there in our tubes and we're like, trying to guide ourselves down the river. You know?
My 3-mile stretch, there was one time when there was just no current. Like it was a great current for the first 0.1 mile, and then after that, nothing.
Yeah.
So we were
One is not very
No,
far.
it was like a 3-mile stretch. So me and my friend, like after 2 hours, it started raining as well.
Oh, man.
And so we just picked up the tubes and just sprinted like down the river.
Yeah.
Just running down the river to get to our spot. It works. though.
Buddy.
It is what it is.
Oh,
That's why I'm not a river fan.
Yeah.
That doesn't look fun to me at all.
When
it's
it's
good, it's
So you
good.
would rather do like
Yeah.
more Schlitterbahn stuff where it's like.
No, I
No.
like
She's
just
a
the
lake.
lake. I
She
just
likes
want to
lake.
go
Oh,
be at the
okay.
lake.
I can
Yeah, that's
respect
right.
that,
That's
man.
right.
I can really
Yeah.
respect that.
I'm
So-
not trying to put in work and get a full exercise 8 hours.
That's like worst case scenario.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like ideally you're there, you got a couple
The
of
best
friends.
time of it is
2
like, yeah, you
hours.
got your friends there, and
You're floating.
it was really good because I got to catch up with my friends. They're like, they're not just my friends; they're my family. You know what I'm saying? So like, we really got to catch up and talk. and
8
relax all the
hours.
time. Yeah, I hadn't seen them for like
You know what?
almost 20 years.
I can't let my wife let me play video games for half an hour. If I'm gonna be able to hang out with my friends for 8 hours, I'll totally do that.
Yeah, it was a good time, man. Really good time. Even though it was like very slow going down, we had a good time, man.
And
So-
we were gonna touch on that, right, with the water being low about
Oh
coming
yeah.
up. We potentially might be seeing like water limitations going into the
Yeah,
summer.
Yeah,
Yes.
because
Possibly, right?
there hasn't been enough water. Everything's low. From what I hear, there might be starting to pump water from like the West Texas area to here, which is horrible. I mean, we need more rain. I mean, it rains and people are like, "Oh, it's raining," but we need it.
Yeah,
true.
no.
Yeah. So hopefully we don't start the summer in a water restriction.
Well, what concerns me about water restrictions is that if we can't water our grass, then the soil around our houses dry up, and that can affect foundation, which
Ha, segue.
insurance.
We'll be getting into this more next week as well, I believe.
Yeah, let's make a whole episode about
But
this.
there is, there's a lot to do with water when it comes to insurance specifically, like the foundation, but there are just a multitude of water coverages that a lot of people think that they are either covered for water or not, whereas you really have about 5 different boxes you'll want to tick in order to make sure that you got everything covered there. We'll dive into the specifics next week on that probably, but that's important, so.
Yeah, and then, I mean, you gotta know what's happening when you live by water.
Yeah, I mean, you got flood is different, wind-driven
yeah.
rain is different,
Yeah.
depends on the perils you're insured against. It's a lot, there's a lot to talk about, but definitely important things, especially if you're buying a new home, or even just have a home you don't even know what you're covered for.
Oh, yeah.
It's
What
all
about
important to
renters?
check
Do
out
they
that.
have to be concerned with some of this stuff?
Renters
Renters not your concern?
Renters not as much. Renters
Okay.
you usually, renters typically have just one, do they really just have water backup on there, which is like the most common water coverage. That's the typical with renters, just because usually the landlord holds the policy that has all the rest.
Okay.
So the one time will be better to be a renter than a.
Yes.
Make sure you're with us next week.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good topic. Can't wait.
Looking forward to it. So, thanks again for visiting the Cellar Room, and make sure you
Like,
Comment.
Subscribe.
and share.
thank you so much. We'll see you next time.